Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. Here we go.
Sergeant D6, he's becoming unresponsive. I don't have any other information.
Alright. You guys doing this?
Yeah. CJ, let's do this.
What's up? Right. What are we doing? Going in?
We're gonna clear it.
Clear it? Alright. Sheriff's officer, you're in the house! Make yourself known!
First off, I just want to point out the fact that they have rifles. One of my biggest chief complaints when it comes to videos like this is officers neglecting to get their rifles out on high-risk calls. So many times I've done these video reviews and police respond to calls, even calls involving guns. Like there's been shots fired, someone's been shot, there's someone with a gun, and these officers all across the nation at different places will go to these calls and then they get out of their car with only a pistol. It is so infuriating to see that shit happening. A rifle is far more superior to a pistol. The only reason why pistols are carried is because of a couple of things. One, police are not getting in the gunfights every single day. It's just not happening. The majority of your law enforcement officers out there go their entire career and never have to shoot anyone. They might point their guns at people, but they never have to shoot anybody. So because majority of law enforcement, day in, day out, is not getting in the gunfights, there's not a need to carry rifles around all the time. Now, if it were the opposite, if your local agency was getting in gunfights every single day, 2 to 3 times a day, then yeah, that would dictate that they should all carry rifles. But that's not happening. So instead, you can carry the pistol every single day. A pistol you can carry around every single day, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours a day, whatever, and it doesn't hurt. It's not that noticeable. It's comfortable and convenient. You try carrying a rifle around for 8 hours a day, hell, 4 hours a day, that shit sucks. Like that sling starts digging into your neck and it's not comfortable at all. It gets in the way a lot of times, muzzle and buttstock, depending on how you got it slung, you'll fucking knock into shit. And if you're in some type of office setting and you turn around fast enough, that damn muzzle will knock stuff off the table. Like it's just not convenient or comfortable. And so when something suddenly happens, the pistol is there and it can work. It's not as good as the rifle, but it can work. It can work to incapacitate a threat. It's just not going to do it like a rifle will. A rifle will knock your dick in the dirt. A rifle is more accurate, it has a longer barrel, and there's more points of contact on that rifle to further stabilize it, reduce as much movement into the system overall to make it more accurate. And the terminal ballistics are night and day compared to pistol cartridges. pistol cartridges suck. I don't care what caliber you have. You can have 45, 40, 9, it doesn't matter. They all suck in comparison to rifle. The kinetic energy that the rifle cartridge or the rifle projectile is able to deliver into a target, it's astounding. I mean, it's, like I said, it is a night and day difference. It can take you fewer rounds from a rifle to rapidly incapacitate a threat, whereas with a pistol, it may take 5 to 12 rounds. It may only take 1 round, but in some cases, it may take up to 5 to 10 rounds to get some rapid incapacitation out of a person. Rifle, 1 to 5 rounds is about all it takes if you put all those rounds in target. And then you're going to get rapid incapacitation from a person, most likely. Now, there are people who've been shot multiple times with rifle and they survived and they didn't immediately go down. But it did not hit critical areas. So that's shot placement. Just like with pistols, shot placement is going to be the key. Either you're using shotgun, rifle, pistol, whatever. Shot placement matters. But generally speaking, even if you have somewhat poor shot placement with a rifle, you're still going to see an immediate effect. Whereas if you hit them in the same place with a pistol, you may not see an immediate effect, at least physically. So, as I said, love the fact they got their rifles out on this high-risk call where people have been stabbed.
Holding here. Ready?
Yep.
Close door right.
Yep. I'm on. Hold on. I got the door. Clear.
All right. You get it right.
Yep. Sheriff's office, if you're upstairs, make yourself known!
I've got closed door, open door here.
Under arrest!
Yeah, 2 doors down there. One's open.
All right. I need.
No, outside.
Where?
What? Who is it?
Channel 8. Channel 9. Channel 11. Channel 10. Put it up in there if you can.
So not sure what's going on right now. They were in the middle of trying to clear a house. There was some type of radio traffic that came out, and they all left really quick and are now running in some direction. It's possible that the suspect description was given at a different location, and now they're running away. The house that they were in, I'm going to assume it's possibly the house where the victims are. If they all left out of that house and are now chasing down where the suspect may be, who's tending to the victims? I don't know. I mean, I hope there's more officers down there at that house who will go in and try to find the victims and render first aid to them, because I can tell you that the fucking ambulance isn't going to go walk their ass in there after being called to the scene of a stabbing and the house has not been cleared or made secure or safe by police. Fire and EMS don't go to hot calls like that. The only time fire and EMS will go on the scene of a stabbing or a shooting is when the police have made the scene safe. So until that happens, if those victims right now, as of 0226 Zulu, if those victims are in that house, they're still sitting there bleeding. And they said that the father ended up dying at the hospital. He could have received injuries that he was going to die anyway. It didn't matter if he got, stabbed where he got stabbed in the fucking middle of a best trauma center in the world. He still could have died just from the simple injuries that he had. But it's also possible that if no one went in there to find them and start rendering pre-hospital care to him, that he lost too much blood and he could have survived from his wounds. But I don't know. I don't know yet. This is my first time seeing this video, so we'll see what unfolds.
Towards the entrance on the backside where 500 came up. Stop talking. You want what you have. Make loud commands. EMS just asked me.
Get in my car.
Baby Alice is showing Zoe Lane right off of Baltimore Road.
500 for units on foot. He's clear down at 144 Baltimore Road. The entrance of Zoe Lane.
Sucking fucking MSP. Okay.
Take a left?
Take a right.
Right.
Yep.
232 continues north, Zoe Lane.
All the way out. Take a left. Next left. Left here.
Got it.
Straight down here. All the way down.
So that looked like he passed a fire truck. Yeah, so that was an ambulance or a fire truck that he just passed. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Fire and EMS, they're not going directly to the scene. They're just going to stage a safe distance away.
Straight down here. All the way down. We're going right into him. Should be right here.
Got point. One got point.
Hey, what's your fucking hand? Drop it!
Drop it!
Drop it! Stay back! Hey, drop it now! Drop the knife! Hey man, it's not worth it, trust me!
Someone was less lethal.
Hey, you got less lethal?
Yep.
You got
Transition.
less lethal. Hey, drop the knife,
I need you to
man!
sign on fire, please, for less lethal.
Hey, you do not would have to shoot you!
We're coming.
Drop the knife! Drop it, man! Come on, less lethal.
Got less lethal up.
Hey man, you're gonna get shot!
Okay, so I'm not a big fan of him dumping his rifle just to retrieve a less lethal weapon when you have a third person here who has a pistol only. Personally, I think he should have either A, handed the rifle off to this guy so he could have rifle coverage on the threat, or gave this guy the less lethal. Now, they are dressed a little bit differently, so he could be a different agency, and he may not even be certified on a less lethal shotgun. But he should have a rifle, and there should be no problem with being able to hand a rifle off to him. I'm not a big fan of dumping a good lethal cover weapon just for a less lethal weapon.
With that beanbag? Hey, you will get shot with a beanbag! Drop it, man! Drop it!
There's not shot fire to the car.
He's got hand! He's got hand! Go hand!
Slow it down.
There's not shot.
And the shotgun
There's not shot fire to the car.
He's got hand! He's got hand!
does not appear to have a sling.
There's not shot fire to the car.
He's got hand!
There's not shot fire to the car.
He's got hand!
Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of that either. All long guns, regardless if they're going to be less lethal, should have a sling on them. I am not a fan of dropping your weapon to the deck and leaving it there so that you can then go do something else. That is not a good way to secure the weapon. A sling is the best way to secure your weapon. You sling it to your back, or you can have it slung to the front, whatever. All long guns should have slings on them, and you should sling it to your body if you're not using it. Even if it's completely empty, it should still be slung to your body. You should never lose your long guns. This may be set up for less lethal only, but it could definitely take a live fucking 12 gauge shell. So if someone came across this and stole it, well, they got a free fucking 12-gauge shotgun.
Slow down! Slow down! Somebody go hit him! Go!
325,
So why are they cuffing him after they shot him? Some people will complain about this, or they'll make comments about it like they don't understand why it's happening. Well, for one, this guy's going to be placed into custody. He's going to be arrested for what he did. Secondly, he is not in a secured environment. He's not in a jail. And he could still be a threat, even after being shot. Just because someone's been shot does not mean they're no longer a threat. There have been multiple cases, multiple incidents where a person has been shot, they went down, and then they got back up and continued fighting. A famous case that is referenced a lot within training is the FBI Miami shootout back in the 1980s. There were two bank robbers / armored truck robbers who were being tracked by the FBI. FBI finally figured out, where they were, went to go make a traffic stop on them. They crashed out during a short pursuit. Gunfight started. At the beginning of this gunfight, the bad guy driver took a round to the head, and it only temporarily knocked him out. He was able to wake back up from that fight and then crawl out of his disabled vehicle and go back to the vehicle of an FBI agent and try to steal it. His partner, at the beginning of this gunfight, took a round through the side of his chest. That round landed in his heart area, and it was a fatal hit. He was going to die from that injury, regardless of the other final injury that he incurred. But it was not immediately incapacitating for him. He was able to continue to crawl out of that vehicle, use his Mini 14 to engage the FBI with. As he got out of the vehicle, he took more rounds. He took pistol rounds, and then eventually took also shotgun pellets. He went on to kill 2 FBI agents and seriously wound 2 to 3 more before taking final rounds into his body from Ed Morales. And their toxicology reports at autopsy showed nothing in their system. They were not on any kind of drug at all. They just had a will to fight, and the shot placement was not great on them. None of their critical areas were hit, except for the one who got shot through the side and it went into his heart, but it just didn't go deep enough. Like I said, he was going to die from that eventually, but it was not immediately incapacitating. So that's why people get handcuffed after they've been shot. Because you don't have x-ray vision, you can't see what the bullets have done. Bullets are unpredictable. You can have a bullet enter in through someone's front of their chest, and then it deviates and then goes downward and out the side and comes out the side of their hip. Or it could fucking go up and come out the top of their clavicle area. Bullets are unpredictable, so you don't know what the bullets have done to them. Even if you see a bullet hole right over their heart area, doesn't mean that bullet has gone straight in and hit the heart. It could have been deflected. It could be stopped right before the heart. So you don't know what damage the bullets have actually done. And the person could start fighting again. And if they do start fighting again, it's a whole lot more fucking difficult for them to effectively fight with handcuffs on than without. And if you don't believe this, I would invite you to a pillow fight where I cuff your hands behind your back and I'm not cuffed, and we'll see who wins that pillow fight. The blood. So his hand is covered in blood. So they need to get in there and secure him, right? They needed to put cuffs on him. It could wait. Like, he's laying there. He's not immediately moving. You've got lethal coverage on the guy. If he starts to do something else threatening, just shoot him some more. Let people take the time to put their personal protective equipment on. You've got to have gloves when you're dealing with people who have bodily fluids on them. You don't have microscopic eyes. You can't look at that blood and see the communicable diseases that could be in it. You have to assume that people with bodily fluids on them have the worst thing imaginable. They've got the AIDS, the HIV, hepatitis, whatever. You have to imagine that it's the worst of the worst. And you don't want their blood on you. Put your gloves on. If it takes half a minute for you to put your gloves on, it takes you half a minute to put your gloves on. Like I said, you've got lethal coverage. If they start to do something else, then they've already been shot. Anything worth shooting once is worth shooting twice. They can get seconds. If they're bleeding out and it takes you half a minute to a minute to get your gloves on, so be it. That's how long it takes you to get your gloves on. They should not have done something to cause you all to have to shoot them. That's on them. They can sit there and bleed out while you're putting gloves on. You are the most important person there. When you go home, you need to go home in the same manner, same condition that you came to work in. Go home with the same amount of holes and go home with the same stuff in your blood. You don't want anything extra. You don't want any extra holes. You don't want any extra shit in your bloodstream. If you're a very young person and you have not started a family yet, it will be incredibly difficult for you to start a family if you caught AIDS at work. Who's going to want to have unprotected sex with you to have a child? Who's going to want to be in a long-term relationship with you if you've got AIDS, hepatitis? It is a life-altering event. Put your fucking gloves on and carry gloves. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen, how many people I've been working with who did not carry gloves on them. Like, why are you not having gloves on you? Now, brand new people who are right new into it, okay, you know what? They haven't been around the block enough to figure it out. But if you got more than a year in doing law enforcement or even security work, like, what is your fucking problem? Why do you not have gloves on you? Especially for the law enforcement crowd who get into things a lot more than the security crowd. Like where have you been? Like, do you hide every shift? Do you not get engaged in stuff? Do you not deal with people? Always carry gloves on you. Before you put your hands on people who have bodily fluids, put your gloves on.
Where you got med bags?
I got a med bag right here.
Less lethal, less lethal.
I got taser.
Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it!
Drop it!
We got shots fired. Officer, okay, we got shots fired.
He's got hands! He's got hands! Go!
I got hands! 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 Frederick, we have one suspect down. Shots have been fired. All officers are okay. All officers are okay.
You got
Here.
So I would say that at this moment, this guy has made the conscious decision to unsubscribe from life. That is why he is running towards the police with that edged weapon. He's not trying to escape and get away from them. I mean, he is trying to escape. He's trying to escape life. But he's not trying to get away from them. He is trying to get them to shoot him. And he has succeeded in his endeavors there. So that could be the weapon that he used to stab his own parents with and kill his dad with.
Hey, drop it now! Drop the knife! Hey man, it's not worth it, trust me!
Someone with less lethal.
Hey, you got less lethal? Go less lethal. Hey, drop the knife, man! Hey, we do not want to have to shoot you! Drop the knife! Drop it, man! You got less lethal? No. Yes. Hey man, you're gonna get shot. We got beanbag. Hey, you will get shot with a beanbag. Drop it, man. Drop it. He's got hands. He's got hands. No hands. Go.
All right.
Go. He's got hands. He's got hands. No hands. Go.
So, this is a problem with jackets and body cameras in the wintertime. The jackets can obscure some of the view of the body camera when you wear it. So, there's a couple fixes for that. One way I have mitigated that issue is, and this really depends also on how your camera is worn. So if you wear it midline, where it's directly in the center of your body, like where your zipper of your jacket would be, this is how I do it. If you wear it where it's on one of your breast pockets, it's not going to work that way. But if you wear it center line, what I do when I wear it, when I have my setup where I'm wearing a jacket, I will zip my jacket up to the point where the body camera is at, and have that zipper go up behind the body camera, and the body camera rests on the outside of the jacket. Now that's midpoint up my chest, so that means from the body camera up to my neck, the jacket is not zipped. Fine by me, because that leaves a chimney, so to speak, so that excess body heat can escape out the top. When it's really cold out and that jacket needs to be zipped up more, then that aspect of that sucks, especially for that jacket that I'm wearing, which I wear the 511 response jacket. It's just really a windbreaker kind of jacket. It doesn't really have any good insulating properties in it or anything like that. For colder weather, instead of having a big bulky insulating jacket, I don't even do a jacket. What I do is a layering system. Now, the layering system is a method that requires more effort. It requires you to pay attention to the Weather Channel to know what your current and predicted weather is going to be like. So, the layering system, if you don't know what the layering system is for winter time, then you're kind of behind the curve. You need to figure out what the layering system is. But in short, basically what the layering system is depending on temperatures, you add layers or you remove layers to keep yourself warm. And you don't have to wear a big bulky jacket. I mean, you could have a jacket as part of the layering system, but instead of just wearing a uniform shirt and then a big bulky jacket with a bunch of insulating, fabric in it, you don't even have to do that. You could just wear additional layers under the uniform shirt, and it'd be just the same as wearing a big bulky jacket that has a lot of insulating material in it. So your first layer is going to be your wicking layer, kind of like your poly shirts and pants, like a silky kind of material, those kind of materials. And that's just meant to wick the moisture away from your body. On top of that is your insulating layers, and so that's going to be stuff that is going to be keeping you warm. These can come in different types of materials and different weights. And you can add on top of that, add 2 layers of something, or have one thicker layer on that and then add something else on top of that, and then put your uniform pant on and then your uniform shirt on, and then boom, you are properly layered and it looks like you're just wearing your uniform. You don't have to put a big jacket on or anything like that, and you will stay perfectly warm. For your legs, it's simple to do that because you don't have any thick stuff that you're wearing over your legs, right? So you can just put a pair of the poly pants on and then slip on a lighter insulating layer over top of that, or if your legs typically get cold all the time, you can put a thicker insulating layer over top of that and then put your uniform pants on. When it comes to your top side, the vest retains a lot of heat, so that can be tricky because if you put too many layers on, well, your arms are going to be fine, but your chest, your core is going to be producing or retaining a lot more heat, and you're going to be producing a lot more sweat. So you have to do a finer balance, I guess you could say, when it comes to that. And one thing that I've done is I've gotten a winter combat shirt to wear. So your combat shirts that are out there are obviously typically designed from a warm weather type of environment, where the sleeve material is all normal uniform stuff, but the chest piece in the back is a thinner material with the idea that you're going to be wearing a vest over top of it. So you can get, well, I don't know if they make it anymore, but from, what was the company I got it from? True Spec? It might have been True Spec. I can't remember. But I got a uniform, cold weather uniform top combat shirt, and same concept. The sleeves are of normal uniform material, and it has the pockets on the sleeves, which I'm not the biggest fan of the pockets on the sleeves, but has normal uniform material on the sleeves, and then the chest piece in the back, the core of the shirt, is a insulating layer that is breathable. So you can actually hold it up to a light. You won't see any light come through the sleeves, but you hold the chest piece up and you can see light coming through it. So it's a lot more breathable. That way when you throw a vest over on top of it, you're not retaining all this super extra heat in there and then getting all sweaty. So it's able to breathe a whole lot better, but it's made out of the thicker insulating material, so that it also keeps you warm under there. So it's a good balance of insulation and also breathability, so that you're not sweating your ass off with a vest on. If you wear your body camera on your breast pocket or something like that, and you throw a jacket on, boom, your damn camera is going to be covered. So you're going to have an extra body cam plate on your jacket. That way, if you decide to put that jacket on, you just dismount the camera from your uniform shirt and then put it on the jacket itself. Which that in itself seems like it would be a hassle to me to be taking that camera on and off as you go into different environments, and you have to put that jacket on or take that jacket off, which is why I like the midline a whole lot better. That way everything can stay on, and if you need to take your jacket off, take it off, and that's fine. You ain't got to mess with anything else on the uniform itself. For the really cold environments where you're going to be outside for a long time, the layering system I think is the best way to go. Like I said, it involves a little bit more effort, having to be on top of the weather and everything. And even if you notice that there's going to be a big swing, so to speak, in temperature change, that would require you to have to actually add or remove layers during the middle of shift, then you're going to have to do that at some point. And that's, like I said, that's requiring more effort than just throwing a jacket on or off. But the benefits of that is you don't have a big, bulky jacket on that can hinder your movements a little bit more, or if it's not a good jacket that fits you right and it hangs over some of the equipment on the belt, it could also hinder your ability to grab things off of your belt if you don't have a properly fitting jacket, or if it rides a little too low or something like that. The biggest thing is just being a big bulky jacket, and your movements and everything are going to be a little bit different than what you're normally used to on a day-to-day basis. Now, if you live in an environment where, like Alaska, where you're always having to wear shit like that, that's one thing. But other parts of the U.S. where a good chunk of the year you're wearing short sleeves and stuff like that, and then boom, winter hits, and for a couple months maybe you're having to wear the thicker jackets out of the year, then you're not used to always having to wear those jackets like you are wearing the rest of the uniform piece or whatever. So anyway, there are some simple fixes out there for body cams to alleviate this issue of the jacket covering up the film or the lens and you're not capturing anything. Nothing else on this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.